You can spend 200K on a backyard and it'll still look cheap at night. I'm gonna tell you why. What's up guys, my name is Taylor. I'm a landscape designer based in California. I do a lot of projects here in the Bay Area in NorCal, but I do stuff across the country in Los Angeles, Southern California. To date, I've probably generated over maybe 10, $15 million of revenue in completed work and completed projects, just an estimate. Most of that's been done with Applewood and Tigran, but I've done plenty of projects on my own too. So for today, I have a project I'm gonna show you guys. It's a project I'm working on right now. I'm gonna kind of show you the daytime versus the nighttime and the impact lighting will actually make on this project. I'm gonna show you the different types of lighting, from path lights, spotlights, wall lights, string lights, you name it, I'm gonna show you. And I'm just gonna show you the impact that it will make to this project. All right, so here's our project here. I'm gonna show you the front and the backyard in the daytime, and I'm gonna take it to nighttime right now. So you can see we have a pretty basic front yard with a driveway and a pathway. We have some plants here that we're gonna wanna light up. And the backyard, pretty straightforward as well. We have a small patio area with a seating and fire pit kind of area, and then a big open lawn for kids to play in and pets and that sort of thing. So this is during the day, and I'm gonna take it down to about dusk. And here's nighttime. So we'll start in the backyard, and in the backyard you see there's already lights here on the house. That's just mostly because I've been lazy to move them. It takes a lot longer to move these around. But in a lot of cases, when somebody buys a new house in their yard, they're gonna have these kind of like house lights on first, these lanterns. And they do a great job of lighting up like the immediate area right when you step out. Same thing with these like step lights here. But the rest of the yard is pretty much pitch black, right? And even in the rendering, it looks kind of lit up, but at night, in some areas, it's like pitch black. So, and same thing for the front yard too. Front yard, a lot of times the lights you start with are kind of like these driveway lights, if that, even if you have that, and maybe some kind of light near the doorway. So the first light that I want to start off with is gonna be, let's see, I'll say string lights. I'd say string lights because for most people, it's very cost effective. It's an easy way to light up the area super well. I wouldn't say it's the most common light that I use, but you can see right here how much of an impact it makes. And string lights are what, like $100 or something at the store? And if you add labor to that, it's really not much relatively. But look at that. So now we have this whole lit up dining space, this outdoor living room. I'm gonna just delete them to show you what that looked like before. And it's just a big difference for a very relatively small amount of money. So I'm gonna take those back out just so I can show you the impact of the other lights. The next light I wanna show you are path lights. So we can find their path lights. Path lights, I'd say, are the most functional non-overhead lights. Overhead lights are great, like lanterns and string lights and stuff like that. But these light up pathways just like they're called, and I'm gonna bring them up right here. Let me zoom in so you can kind of see. So it's kind of hard to tell because we have these other wall lights here that do a great job. But when I delete these path lights, it just doesn't have the same character. It doesn't feel warm or safe or inviting to the yard. When you add these in near paths, or especially on side yards, I think a lot of side yards, especially here in the Bay Area, they stay pretty dark. They don't get a lot of love and they feel kind of creepy at night. So just adding those in areas that could use a little love goes a long way. So the next light I want to show you, I'd say these are just as important as path lights. I'd say it's 50-50. A lot of people with landscape lighting, they only think of path lights, but I would say the ones that make the best aesthetic impact, like it improves the look and feel of your yard, are spotlights, or sometimes people call them uplights. Put these on like vertical elements like trees or walls, stuff like that. You can see right as we walk out of the house here, we have these 3 Japanese maples right along the back fence. And these are focal features that kind of draw you into the yard. But without these spotlights, these uplights that kind of shine on them, they're not really a focal feature anymore at night. They don't really light up the perimeter of the yard so you can see like, all right, where does this yard actually end? So you can see bringing these up here, you can kind of highlight the sculptural branches and stuff on that Japanese maple. Even on like these bamboo privacy hedges, you can put some lights in between there. And on focal trees, they had these 2 existing oak trees and those uplights do a great job there. So those are the uplights. That's, for most people, that's like gonna be 95% of the lighting most people would put in their backyard. Let me bring everything all together now, just so you can see it all play out. Okay, so we got our string lights. We'll drop our uplights back in. We got our path lights. So now we have a fully lit backyard. The only other things you might want to experiment with are more above lights, like top-down lighting, stuff like chandeliers, lanterns. Like, it wouldn't really work here because you don't have a structure to hold this unique modern lantern. But say you put like a pergola over this area here, it's a great way to hang lights that will give you, I'd say it's more of an aesthetic thing if you want to have like a unique lantern or a focal piece. But even on something like this existing oak tree here, what I like to do sometimes, if they have the budget for it, is play around with like hanging lights, like little lanterns like these, which would make a, what would be a normally ordinary tree into a more of like a magical focal feature. So you can do that. And I put these lights here too on this wall. These are like more modern, like sleek lanterns. You can put these on a focal wall or on a pool wall, something like that. But there's lots of different ways you can play around with it. And I kind of skipped the front yard a bit, so I'll make this part quick. All the front yard has actually is just path lights and uplights, so I just want to show you what that looks like. We'll add in those path lights. And note for the front yard, I really took it easy on the lighting. Like, there's only 3 path lights here. I don't like sticking out too much, like I said, in the neighborhood. So I have some driveway lights just so you can see where you're driving. They already have the lights in the garage. I put 3 path lights here. But more important, in my opinion, than the path lights are, again, the spotlights, the uplights. Because look at this landscape right now. It's pretty bland. I mean, during the day, it's okay. But at night, just like look at what that does. It's pretty amazing. You have light kind of shot like silhouetting on this boulder here. You have these Japanese maples that kind of, you highlight the sculptural feel of those. And when you combine those with the path lights, you have a very inviting, warm front yard to go to. So let me actually show you. These are like in the design program, but like our final renderings of this. This is kind of during the day. It's a little more photorealistic. And then you can kind of see at night like how beautiful it is. I mean, how many houses on your block or houses that you've worked on if you're a contractor look like this warm and inviting at night? And it only takes a few lights like that in the front yard. So that's everything for this project. So if you've never designed lighting before, I keep talking about how important spotlights are, uplights are, but something people don't know is like placement of them and how to angle them. And so I'll show you a little bit of that. For most people, it's gonna be a bit of an experiment type thing. You're gonna wanna put the lights in, you're gonna stake them into the ground near whatever it is you're trying to light. So like in terms of like angle and placement, it's not gonna be perfect in this design program, but a lot of times, like say I'm trying to highlight this Japanese maple, you might have stuff in the way. Like there's some bushes in the way here. You're gonna have to experiment at night. So maybe you're a contractor, maybe you're a homeowner. You're gonna have to kind of find a place to angle it and just play around with it. Put it near that focal feature. Maybe you have to move it off to the side or angle it up a little bit more. But a lot of it is just experimenting. And a big thing to note too is don't put these lights, whether it's an uplight or a path light, anywhere people might kick them over. Like obviously you wouldn't want to put these path lights in the middle of the lawn or like back to the front yard over here. Notice how I have these path lights kind of staggered on the walkway, but I don't actually put them like somewhere right here, because this is somewhere where kids might like run onto the lawn or dogs or pets or something like that. So I try to avoid stuff like that, but you'll notice like in planters or along this walkway, it's totally fine. So even though you're trying to make it look pretty, you still have to think about stuff like safety, practicality, and stuff that just makes sense. You don't want your lights getting kicked over. You don't want your uplights being hidden by another plant or something like that and blocking the focal feature that you're trying to highlight. All right, so I have 2 other projects to show you. Maybe a little bit higher end I would consider them, just to give you some more examples of lighting. I'll start with this one right here just to show you what we have, but most of it's very practical. Like you have a lot of paths in this yard that are just highlighted with path lights. But one thing I really like about this project is we have this kind of elevated seating area, this elevated patio, which I love playing with elevations too. This is not much to do with lighting, but I think if you have a big flat backyard, a good way to add interest is just creating some changes in height with the seating areas. So with this one, what's really cool about it is at night, it's elevated and it has a little bit of a lip. So when you put this, we put an LED strip light all around it. So what it does at night is it gives this kind of like floating effect, which is really cool, and it draws you to it. So now you have the fire pit, which by the way is like a form of light. You have this LED light strip around it, and then on the top, you have these string lights. So it's kind of like covered all around. You have all your bases covered. This is a cool one where we also played with the tree. We added these hanging lanterns here. And then there's just a big kind of like open outdoor space to walk. They have a really big yard with not a lot of things they want to fill it with. We put these boulders kind of around the tree for the kids to play on and sit on, but I really like when you have a unique and mature specimen tree to add some kind of like lantern or something to it just to put the focus more on it. But the rest of the yard's pretty practical. You have the string lights, like I said, you have path lights, and you have some uplights scattered. But my favorite is really that floating effect with the LED strip light and the lanterns on the tree. Now with this other project, this is a little bit more high-end too, because we have some of these like pergola elements. You have this like swinging daybed over here by the pool, which realistically at night, this pool actually is gonna do a lot of lighting too. I didn't talk about pools, but the lights inside the pool usually create kind of like a ripple effect on the area outside the pool. So keep that in mind when you're planning out your lighting. But this kind of swinging daybed area here, we have these lights that are recessed into the actual daybed itself. And again, like these LED strip lights that make it feel like it has this floating effect at night. We have some fire bowls here with some lights. It's kind of hard to see in this design, but we also have uplights here, which maybe you didn't notice, but it kind of creates a second layer to the landscape behind this water wall, this fire bowl wall, where normally this would just be pitch black and you wouldn't even see the plants at night. Now there's one other structure here where we play a little bit with lighting. Again, we went crazy with these LED light strips. We have uplights on the plants back here. We have a unique, chandelier or lantern kind of right here on the bar seating area. And then we have these unique up and down lights that give lighting both ways along the back here. So that way it kind of highlights, what you're doing with the grill and the sink and preparing food. And it kind of gives you a little bit more of a verticality element pointing upward. This is great on houses, by the way, like on a garage, on the sides of garage doors. And then the cherry on top is just these string lights. Even on a high-end project, string lights, in my opinion, look good. Not everybody's a fan of them, but I really like them. So that's the, I guess, more luxury stuff. In the meantime, if you're not quite here yet and you're not doing like, multi-six-figure projects, this is, I'd say, more of a practical project. I mean, I'd say there's some fancier elements in the back, but the front yard here specifically, like with these basic path lights and uplights, this is a great starting point if you want to experiment with outdoor lighting. By the way, the software I'm using here is Structure Studios, but in a lot of our projects lately, we've been using SketchUp and Lumion for rendering. Before I let you guys go, I want to talk a little bit about the business side of designing. So do most clients ask for lighting, or do I actually suggest it to them? Well, I'd say it's a little bit of both. Most of our customers know that they want some sort of lighting at night. They just don't really know the details of it. It's not really until I show them, like in a rendering, how much of a difference it makes that they really understand it. So I'd say like 90% of it is me suggesting it to them. If it was up to them, a lot of clients would just buy those solar lights on Amazon, have them break in like a year, or buy string lights, which is fine. String lights are fine, I love string lights. But a lot of the uplighting on these, trees and focal features, they wouldn't think twice about until you either suggest it or you actually show them what it would look like. If you were to remember one thing about this video about lighting, I would say that start practically first. So cover your, make sure you can see at night. Your string lights, which is low cost and affordable for most families. Path lights, it's gonna highlight, pathways and allow you to get from point A to point B. And then if you do have a bigger budget to work with, just start off with uplights and spotlights. You don't need to go too crazy with things. But make sure you buy quality lights, because a lot of these cheaper lights will either burn out or cause you problems in the future. If you're just getting started with lighting design, something you shouldn't overthink is like getting too artsy or too creative with it. Because remember, at the end of the day, you know, lighting can be a really cool element of your design, and it can really distinguish your design and your build on your project. But ultimately, for most people and most families, it's practical. They want to see where they're going. They want to drive up to a house that feels warm at night, and you don't have to go super crazy with all these unique lights. So stick to the basics first, and if there's an opportunity to add something nicer in a higher end project, then experiment with that. When budget gets tight on a lot of these projects, I'd say one of the first things that gets cut is actually lighting. And that's, you know, no shade to lighting, but I'd say most people want a functional backyard. They want a place where they can put furniture like pavers and stuff like that. They want a lawn. So a lot of times the lighting gets cut, and I keep saying this, like the string lights, you know, and I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but you can find a lot of ways to light up your yard without spending a ton of money. So we'll either cut out lights like those spotlights or those uplights that aren't super functional to see at night. Those will be the first to go. Or sometimes we'll cut like the brand of lighting. We'll change the brand. So sometimes I'll specify high-end brands like FX Luminaire is a really good one, or Inlight. Those are two of my favorite high-end brands. But the thing is, like, that could double or sometimes triple the price of the lighting budget. So we might switch from those to like Pro Trade as a brand, or Hampton Bay, just to cut costs and still do the function that they're intended to do. I actually don't know the biggest lighting package I've ever sold, but I'd say I'd have to guess that I've had a customer spend at least 75 to 100K on lighting. That's really rare, by the way. I'd say on average, our average family home is spending like 10, maybe not even that, like 7, 10K, 15K on a yard for lighting. And then the higher end projects are like 30 to 60, but the most is probably 75 to 100. You don't need a $300,000 budget for your yard to make it feel special. You just really need to be intentional with details. And a great example is my backyard. I don't have any pictures of it, but I didn't spend too much on it. And I used a little bit of lighting. I used a pergola from Costco, and I'd say it feels really nice at night. So you don't need to go spend a ton of money. You just need to know where to spend for the right things. So in summary, lighting is really, really, really important, guys. You don't have to do a ton of it, but just some of the focal features, light up some pathways. It just makes the yard not only usable at night, but a completely different space. It's important, even if you're not a designer, to be familiar with this as a contractor. And I know a lot of you guys are, but lighting can make a really big difference on your projects, and it'll make your customers happy as well. If you guys have any questions for me, or you want to see more of this type of content, leave a comment down below. Bye.